All right, I think I got it.
Yeah, you're in.
All right, we're awesome. Figured it out.
Hell yeah.
What's happening, man? What's up, Alex?
Just chilling, man. Just trying to pack. Just hanging out in my garage. It's kind of hot. But that's what we've been playing.
You are wearing a hoodie, it looks like.
I am wearing a hoodie. It was cold in my house. Now I have a nice stiff drink though. Should keep me cool.
That should cool you down.
Good.
Yeah, it should be good.
Important to stay hydrated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what's up, fellas? Good to see you all again.
Good to see you too, man.
Another week. Say a Lot podcast. Let's go right into it. I'm Matt. Got my buddy Brett here.
Yes.
Doing the two-armed podcast.
Nice.
Got Brian,
Yo, what's up?
Joe,
Hello.
Joe, Clint
Hello.
with his awesome guitar wall,
Nice.
and our guest this week, Alex.
Guitar wall.
Yes, sir.
Alex,
Be here.
coming at us from the garage, huh?
Yeah, always from the garage.
Yeah,
It's the only quiet spot in my house. So
I can tell because there's drums in there.
yeah,
Real
exactly.
quiet. Well, welcome. I think, man, I think we know you from several years. I think in the Fair City Fire family. I think probably some of Fair City Fire's first gigs. I think I remember you were at or helped put together, maybe with some of that on vinyl stuff. And you're a drummer,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
a show promoter, you're a managing partner at Scratchouse now. So you're fully integrated in the music biz. So
Yeah.
what have you been doing during this time?
I mean, it's been hard, man. It's usually when kind of slows down, I have shows to fall back on, and the like playing and drumming. But I ain't got not much of anything right now. We've kind of just been trying to work with all the other Red River venues and see how we could stay open and kind of make a game plan for everybody. It's been constant emailing and landlord lawyer talkings and discussions, and that's pretty much been most of the days. Other than that, just trying to keep busy playing music.
So what's that plan looking like, if you can talk about it, as far as
That's the whole frustrating part, is that we are kind of being told two different things from the city and from the state, and we're kind of in the dark because the venues are kind of the last people that get to. And so they really haven't told anything to us. Basically, I think we're looking maybe at June, like early June or late this month. But I don't know. I don't see how that's going to happen. But that's what they've been telling us.
and then at that point, because I work up at Fourth Tap, well, not so much these days, but kind of
Yeah.
work up there, and I know that they're going through the state. They're going to be in the second wave of openings, but
Right.
even then, it's 25% capacity, which
Right,
is
which is
not much.
which is not even doable. It's not even doable really for us. I mean, more so I think than the bigger venues. But 25% for us is like 30 people, 45 people.
Yeah.
So, that's even so. Even if we're at 25%, of people are going to come out and trust that it's safe.
Right.
I mean, I know a lot of people that wouldn't.
Yeah.
So 30 people, that's basically just like the band's girlfriends / boyfriends and families. So that's basically all that shows up anyway, right? Isn't that like
Yeah, exactly.
work out though for you guys?
And they all get drink tickets, so
Yeah.
they all drink for free.
Yeah, Scratchouse, that's on 7th Street in Austin in the Red River district.
Yeah, the very last one on the end.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned like landlords and stuff, because I remember when all this stuff started happening, like there was a lot of stuff up front about how we've got to make sure, I mean, individuals with their rent have protection, businesses have protection, and there was a lot about that and financial things passed. But is it actually being executed in that way? Like, does it seem like bars that haven't been open are going to have the right kind of help that they need?
I mean, we really haven't gotten the help that we need. Um, I know Hurd and Steve with Empire and Hurd and Parrish. They've been doing a good job of with the banding together, giving those HEB gift cards out to all the employees, the kind of the service industry employees, and kind of lobbying for us on that end. But but yeah, I think for us, I mean, we've gotten some loans, but even the SBA loan, I think that the government, the small business loan, was a little bit. But as of right now, I mean, I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about
Right.
my lease, but I mean, our landlords in general really haven't been that accommodating because they're really not off the hook either.
No.
Right. Yeah.
Of
I
course
know.
not.
So we're I mean, we're not paying full, but it's still you know we've been closed for almost month and a half. In the worst time of the year to close down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You missed South by, which is one of the biggest
Yeah.
moneymakers of the year.
And even the weather's just like ideal this time of year.
Oh,
As
it's perfect.
ideal as it gets. So
Yeah.
Texas.
What I mean, you're a pretty young guy with a fantastic head of hair. What gets you into, I mean, wanting to be a managing partner at a bar? I mean, it's already a risky venture for anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
you went into it pretty young as a musician yourself. Why? Why take it on?
Yeah, I'm asking myself that right now a lot.
What did you come up with?
But me and Brody Elkins, my other business partner, the Mustache Man, we got into this. We started working at Scratchouse for probably like 5 years ago, and we had another music related production business, and we worked at Scratchouse, and I was used to Holy Mountain. I played at Holy Mountain was my first show I ever played in Austin. So that spot had a soft spot for me. And we didn't. It definitely had changed when it was Scratchouse, but we kind of wanted the old owner of Scratchouse just had a different view than we wanted to, and he ended up deciding that he didn't want to have a music venue anymore. So I mean, he was put it on the market, and we were trying to help him sell it, and they kind of came to us that maybe we can try. See, we're the pretty much only people that knew how to run it at the time, because we were the two managers. So we kind of just got into it and kind of learned as we went, made it up as we go. We're still doing that right now.
What
That's
is it
pretty
like?
crazy.
I mean, you guys have played all kinds of venues. I mean, Fair City Fire with tours. I mean, just around town. What makes a good music venue? Like when you're thinking about it for on your business side, or when you guys think about playing there, what do you guys? I mean, before all this happened and after this is all done, I mean, what makes it for you?
I think what makes us, specifically us, because I kind of see it from both sides when I go and play venues and other than that. But for us specifically for Scratch House, I think why we do it is because we give. I know we kind of get labeled as we play a little bit different music and book a little bit different groups than the rest of the street kind of most of the time. A little bit more hip hop and EDM lately. And not necessarily my forte right away, but that was kind of the cards we were dealt when we took over. And I think just giving these younger kids this stage and opportunity that they probably wouldn't get in most places, and being able to promote it in such a way that they actually can make money. I can pay these small artists and with our promoters, and um, they can have this outlet that they can actually get exposure and money out of, which I think is really important because it's hard to get both a lot of the times at the same time.
Either one or the other.
I think
Yeah.
a really cool benefit of Scratch House playing there and stuff, like from the band perspective, is like, yeah, people can hear it and see it from the street and be like, damn, that sounds or looks good. Like, I want to come in and check that out. Like Free Week, that was happening. Like when we played that showcase, and it was cool to see that, man. And that's always cool when a venue has that going for it, for sure.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest reason why we were interested in it, is that it's a garage door. which helps a lot. I know Empire. Sometimes me and Steve get into it already. Well, when we used to be really loud, but we it's always a struggle between neighbors to be friendly neighbors between everybody.
Do
But
the cops ever give you a hard time with sound over there?
Not really the police officers. It's always before South by Southwest, and they kind of crack down.
Yeah.
And get really anal about it. And the crazy part to me was we were open. I think like the day before they shut everything down, we had a pretty big show, and we caught some flack for it from people from like California that knew about this South by show. It was kind of a big. We just got tweeted at and messaged all day long how we were being unsafe. But I mean, we were doing exactly what the city told us we could do. It was like 250 people max at the time, and that was the last day. And the fire marshals were actively going around checking permits, and I guess we were missing one because South by Southwest had gotten us a permit, and I guess their offices shut down the day before, and so we didn't know that we had lost the permit. So we got a bunch of people got tickets from the fire marshal the day before everything shut down. So it's kind of a bad taste in our mouths.
Yeah, that's not
We
great
need to
timing.
can you hire somebody to go set fires around town so the fire department's busy, but they never like have to show up there? Just different. Whatever. Something to think about when you guys
Yeah.
get back.
I could never tell you to do that, but
That's a problem solver.
Yeah.
It's got the answer for everything.
yeah, it was just
Set
weird. It was
fires.
weird that they were choosing to enforce venues and kind of crack down when no venues were really full anyway. So it's not like there were any fire hazards going on. But I know a few of us down the street got knocked that day.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's
So,
kind of odd people's reaction to this stuff, and that's just kind of the internet, I guess, being the way it is. But like just people judging people for having their businesses open and stuff, like when they could, especially at the beginning when nobody really knew what was
yeah.
going on. It's like it's unfair. I mean, we're talking about two different perspectives. There's people that are just like, let's avoid spreading this thing, whatever, and they're on that extreme, and and then there's people that are just trying to
Right.
make a living and trying to keep their business alive, and that's like it's hard not to understand both, I think, if you think about it with a clear mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and of course that no self-respecting like service industry employee or venue wants to put their customers at risk of some disease. But I think a lot of people, it kind of for lack of a better term, it kind of turned a lot of people, this whole quarantine kind of turned a lot of people into snitches and snitching on their friends and neighbors on Facebook, taking pictures of the green belt. I'm like, it's kind of a weird situation where people it was like calling people out on the internet, for doing what they have to do. I mean, not us. I mean, we did that. Even people just going to the grocery store and people calling people out. So it's been really strange.
Yeah, that part's been weird too, for sure.
Yeah, I would never snitch. I mean, sure, I'll call the fire department to make sure they're out, they're searching for permits, but I would never snitch
course,
on anybody. Yeah. Does the like when I think of Red River, I mean, it's called the Red River Cultural District, and I think most of us think of it that way. If we go there, it's like, well, we'll go to this spot, and maybe we'll bounce in between different spots depending on the vibe or who's playing. On the
Right.
business side, from your side, does it feel like cohesive, like a family, like that?
Absolutely. I think,
Yeah.
and we were kind of the last into the fold, if you will, because Cody Cohen is the executive director of the Red River Cultural District, and he just done a really good job of having. I mean, we have a board of directors. We even in the midst of all the shooting and the violence, kind of like earlier this year, we all met with the mayor and the chief of police about it, and he was able to kind of we bring all the venue owners together once a month, and me, and it's kind of a nice like lobbying group for us as far as being a little guy, to have other bigger venues like Stubbs and and Ryan Garrett Stubbs and all these guys that kind of go to bat for everyone because they have that kind of pull, and we really don't. So it's kind of nice having this coalition of venues. Definitely no other, you know, I guess collection of bars has that in Austin or venues or anything like that. So it's been really nice for us being the little guy, having these resources.
Yeah, it's probably cool because those bigger venues probably have like obviously like the respect of being like this massive institution,
Right.
but also like probably experience dealing with the city on stuff too. That's probably
Right.
cool to benefit from as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And just getting us in front of the right people to talk to, um, and just kind of having to listen to us because we're not just one bar, emailing the city. We kind of have the power to get the mayor in the same room as us almost on a day's notice if we have a problem. Because I mean, I know I'm speaking for we pay a lot of money to the state and the city, taxes and selling alcohol and all that. So I'm glad that we have resources like we do.
Wow, that's great. It's
Yeah, it's
also
good to hear.
I also feel like the big guys, they benefit from being in an area where there's a lot of other, maybe even, and not in a bad way, just smaller venues that are there too, right? There's just more to do in that area when you can go see a big show and then go see a bunch
Oh
of
yeah,
small shows after, or vice versa, or something like that. I think it
that's
helps.
always been that's always been the I never think of like I guess Empire or Barracuda as like competition,
Right.
even because we tend to do our shows a little bit later starts. And Empire, if they let out in their garage at midnight,
Mhm.
everyone will come over Scratchouse and they same thing like it just everyone kind of benefits off each other because no one just goes to one show when they're downtown
No, not at
for a
all.
night.
And the one bar that's definitely benefiting is Sidebar.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the music scene thing in general that got bad for a while and then started getting better is the like competitiveness, even amongst venues, amongst bands, and not realizing that like working together is how you build a scene and that helps everybody. Where if you got venues and bands fighting each other all the time, it's just gonna lose interest from the general community to get into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's impossible because there's not enough there's not enough dollars in our town to go around for everyone to be fighting over them. We don't live in LA or New York where people are spending thousands of dollars a night at the bar. The people we're not really a bottle service community, and people aren't spending $50 on tickets every night. So we
Yeah.
kind of it's got to be consistent because everyone. I mean, everyone's operating on super low margins.
Definitely
And
seems like it has a more like when you think of downtown Austin, you kind of your mind goes to Sixth Street and that whole vibe. I'd imagine, and I've noticed
right,
over the years, that's kind of more of a local spot to hang. You see a lot more locals going to like
yeah,
Sidebar or any of those like Empire because it's kind of you get the tourists that come in and they go straight to Sixth Street, and then you
right.
have to deal with all that nonsense. So I feel like
Hmm.
you probably get a little more loyalty, and I don't know if you see a whole lot of repeat customers there on Red River.
Oh yeah, I mean it's all regular. It's our business is 70% regulars, I would say.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like the most important thing for us. That's kind of why. I mean, we launched our GoFundMe. I think when this was all started because um, for us being really small, we kind of operate on even smaller margins than most people, and we really were kind of in that spot because all these finances hit kind of at the end of March for everyone with liquor taxes and all that. And usually with South by, it's no big deal. Um, you cover that in a couple days. And a lot of venues downtown pay double rent in March, us included. Um, so that was
Wow, I
a
didn't
big
know that.
issue. Yeah. Um, I it was kind of a thing that we kind of got ourselves, grandfathered ourselves into when we signed the deal. But that definitely is a thing downtown is people paying double rent because these landlords know. that they make exponentially more money. But
It seems kind of weird and borderline illegal or something. I don't know.
That should be illegal. That sounds like super sketchy to me.
yeah, I mean well, I wouldn't, next time around, when we're actually the ones to sign the deal, that probably won't be the case. But it, I get it,
Like, do
but
they make you pay less when it's slow?
yeah, right. I wish that would be
Yeah,
nice.
is there a flip side on that for you guys? Is there any kind of silver lining or anything for y'all?
No, not.
You get twice as many urinal cakes in March.
Yeah,
Put in the
pretty much. It's pretty much a fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some other. I don't know how much I could say, but there's just other kind of shifty little things that go on in those contracts too, in those leases that are not beneficial for small businesses. But there's no like you get that money back if you get this or anything like that. So
Yeah, it's just a fight to not be forced out at this point, right?
yeah, and I hope, thankfully, I think we're the last frontier as far as Red River District. The city kind of wants to. The city's been kind of pretending that we're still live music capital of the world, so they have to kind of keep some live music venues still around. So I think we might be like the faces of that. And I think we're the last. We're 8 or 9 clubs amongst us, and the city I think is kind of trying to still protect us. I hope. I like to think so. But anything, that's not in that concentrated area is getting pushed out almost immediately. I mean, Rainy Street. I mean, there used to be. I remember Blackheart playing at Blackheart all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to find any like consistent live music down there anymore. Even from 3 years ago, it was happening.
Yeah. I play there regularly on Thursdays, but that's why I was asking about sound, because even recently, I mean, they do their normal South by thing, but even a little before that, they've just been getting more and more strict about sound, and because Rainy Street is still kind of new, it doesn't have like, Red River District can point to be like, we've been doing this for 20 years, but a bar that's only had music for 3 years on Rainy Street, they can be like, well, residents is more important, and you can't have music anymore.
I mean,
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You can go.
Oh, no, I was just going to comment on that whole Rainy Street, because back in 2010, I worked down there at Clive Bar, and it was one of 2 bars that were there.
Yeah.
And it was build up, and to watch it build up and then break back down again is kind of weird.
Yeah.
See these pockets that kind of build up and they become this scene, this kind of staple in Austin, and have all this music, and then all of a sudden it just shrinks again. Like,
yeah, and it's crazy to me, these people that move to Austin, and they're because they love the live music and the nightlife, and they move into these condos amongst these venues, and then they complain that the music is too loud.
Yeah. That's what happened basically. Yeah, that's all.
Well, that was a weird part about the latest push, though, is I guess like the music commission had to talk to the police and stuff, because they're supposed to not do anything unless they got complaints, and they started just cracking down on sound without ever getting any complaints. And so it was a weird city move.
I sent someone to that. I couldn't go to that music council meeting, but I had the same issue where I was under the same impression that they weren't supposed to be metering or giving decibel readings on us unless they were there was a complaint. But it became to the point where even like smaller bars that don't have live music were complaining on music venues, which I thought was crazy, because I would think that everyone kind of help, the business is kind of beneficial for everyone. So when I heard about that, and it kind of happened to us, it was really weird to me that I thought we were on people being on the same team, because it's hard enough for everyone when you have noise complaints, instead of just whenever we have problems with any surrounding businesses, we just go and talk to them. Right. I don't call the cops on Barracuda.
Like adults.
Yeah. Like I don't call the cops on Jason and Barracuda. doesn't make any sense to me.
You guys are really underestimating the joy of being a tattletale. I tell you.
Yeah, man. I know this is the time to do it too. This is the time.
Yeah. Hopefully this doesn't give you like a whole new set of things to be worried about where like they have restrictions going forward and people just try to get venues in trouble all the time for different rules they're breaking.
Yeah, I think the normal that we know probably is gone, and we're probably going to see a new normal as far as things we can do in public, which is kind of saddening to me. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think that the people that are so against, coming back, some of it, I've talked to a lot of people who are upset when, us trying to reopen. I get it. I don't think we have all the facts yet, but, I think if you are well off and you can work from home on Zoom, I think that's great. I wish I could do that. I wish a lot of people could do that. But if not, then I think you have to kind of be a little bit sympathetic to us trying to find solutions and safe solutions to make this work. Because, not everyone can work remotely from home and make money or make a living. So.
Joke's on you. I don't work when I'm at work. Answer us this. Will you require your musicians to wear face masks when they perform?
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Could you guys imagine that? Even trying to do that at all?
Well,
terrible. Yeah.
Not the singer. Come on, man.
Yeah.
No mask for
Try it at home or anything.
I mean, Slipknot kind of proved that it's not an issue.
Yeah.
There's a whole Masked Singer.
Yeah, there's a whole TV show.
Whole shitty TV show about it.
I love it.
I mean, I've been disinfecting microphones since I started doing sound on Red River for like 4 years. So I've been doing that shit because I always thought that was gross.
Oh, yeah.
We always pretty much all bring our own for that reason. Just like
you guys are one of the few that bring your own mics. I remember, which is always nice. Until the dudes that bring their own mics bring those like Fisher Price microphones to the venues. I'm like, I'm not gonna. It's like it sounds good in the studio, man. I'm like, I'm not gonna use this.
Yeah, man.
That's fine.
Somebody else want to go? Otherwise, I'm gonna go.
Go, do it.
All right,
go.
I wanted to talk to Alex Duck, the drummer. Can we switch over? Can we switch over? Are you able to do that?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, it's all right here.
Do you have a hat or something you could put on to?
Yeah. So we know.
Throw your hood up.
Yeah. Just curious, and Joe, you can get on this.
Oh, there we
How
go.
does one become a drummer young? Like, how do you? I guess do you start in school? Where does it go from like kind of dicking around with it to like convincing a parent to buy you a drum set?
I mean, I'm still dicking around.
Yeah.
But I drum pretty. I mean, I started drumming pretty early. My parents, they bought me a drum set. I guess I begged for a year when I was like 8 or 9. Yeah, begging.
Consistent.
And it was I can't imagine being a parent of a drummer child in a pretty small house too at the time. But and then kind of going into like band, like concert band in middle school and high school. Everyone wants to be a percussionist. So when you tell them you want to be a percussionist, they're like, oh, well, here's a saxophone, here's a trumpet, because there's not a lot of people want to play those instruments. Now I was persistent. So I've been kind of playing drums for a while. And I didn't really take that many lessons. I thought I wanted to go to music school. And then I just wanted to move to Austin instead and go to school. I went to school here, but I didn't go to music school.
That's music school, man. This city's music school. Moving here.
Yeah. That's exactly what I tell everyone, that just, getting thrown into these groups that people you don't know and playing these shows, you learn just as much. I mean, yeah.
Well, Joe, I don't know if I know, how'd that work out for you, like getting drums as a kid?
Same. I mean, almost pretty much the same thing, right? You get that bell kit, right, Alex?
Yeah.
Bell kit and a drum pad and everything in there.
Cool.
Yeah. but they didn't toss me a saxophone because I was gonna get braces, and they were like, "Nah, you're gonna cut up your lip if you do trumpet." So they put percussion, and shit, it worked. It worked.
I mean, Joe and I kind of came from the same school with the not so existent music program,
Right? Yeah.
but
Both Hill.
yeah, go Hilltoppers.
Yep. Right.
That's right. Oh yeah, St. Ed's
Um,
connection,
What is
huh?
this?
Yeah.
But they don't. Sorry. So you got the mascot. So you got our horns are just a little shorter.
Oh,
A little sad.
all right. I never knew that.
It's cold. It's cold outside. It's cold.
Yeah.
But they don't have really a music program. They're in the live music capital of the world, as we say, and they don't have a great music program. All the music is still like in this place called the Carriage House, which really was where they put the horses in the stables and shit back in the day. Back
It was
early
it
1900s.
was probably smaller. It's probably smaller than this garage I'm in right now. And shout out to Joey Colarusso for holding it down for all these years. The music teacher there.
Absolutely.
He definitely does not have the resources that he should have by the kind of teacher he is. And that's a shame for being in the kind of city we're in. But
Alex, did you have a radio station like Joe had at the Hilltoppers?
I was I did not. I was a kind of a behind the scenes dude.
Right.
I was the production director at the time. I think when I was a freshman or sophomore, I was just kind of helping people that didn't know how to like turn on their live streams and like didn't know how to turn up their mic, which is kind of all I do now anyway.
Yeah.
So
Transferable skills, man.
yeah, thanks. I paid a lot for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I paid a whole
It's always interesting, especially as a drummer compared to other musicians. Oftentimes you're finding yourself playing other people's instruments, other people's
Yeah.
setups. And I don't know, I was wondering, like, do you guys get judgy about the kits you're playing on? Do you just get used to like playing on different kits? Like, how do you approach it? Are you like, oh, this is trash, going in? Or are you like, I can do it, I play it on everything?
I guess I'm more the older I got and the more I kind of been in the Austin music scene, the less work I want to do.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate anybody bringing their drums.
yeah, I'm like, thank God, dude. Because then, I mean, to be honest, sometimes when you go out and I don't like to drive downtown unless I'm working. So if I bring my drums, I gotta drive, and I can't really. I gotta go. If I drive, I'm gonna go home because if not, I'm gonna be at the bar till after. But I always bring my snare drum in my kick pedal everywhere. But I always like when people bring their own drum set because I could Uber downtown when I was young. I could drink a little bit and then not have to drive home.
Yeah, good call.
But I mean that was my thing. When I started playing in Austin, I played with a kit. It was like probably I don't know. I had like 3 toms and 2 floor toms, like something ridiculous.
Jesus.
Like something stupid. And the more every month I played, I just took something away. And the less, I was like, what can I get away with? Because I don't want to carry this shit around anymore.
I've seen that happen in real time with almost every drummer I've played with here.
Yeah,
Just gets smaller and smaller every week.
My whole setup can be put on this dolly I have and like rolled, like all bungee corded together and rolled.
That's awesome.
Or else I won't fucking do it. I can't. And there's just no. I mean, now that Scratchouse makes it easy because I can play downtown and I can park at the venue, and if something happens, I can just put my drums at the venue, which was the best thing. That I, even during South by it was the best because I could just stage my kit at the venue and leave it there, and then go wherever I needed to go.
I've definitely left like stuff at Scratchouse and then gone out and then I've been like, hey, Alex, I need to get my stuff.
Yeah, and I like doing that for people too because I feel like a lot of venues won't do that. I mean, for people that I know, I'm like, I would want this service if I was y'all. So I'm always down for homies to keep their
It was much
stuff
appreciated.
there. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. or 1:55 at Scratchouse is always the witching hour.
Are you still playing with the Bishops and people? Who are you playing with these days?
Mostly the Lagoons right now. We were geared up. We were geared up for a tour. Kind of right now, I think. And obviously that happened.
Right.
But I've been playing really just the Lagoons right now, and Sunrise Police as well.
That's right.
They've been doing well. Yeah, I just kind of started playing with them. The Bishops are kind of went back to their kind of hip hop roots of just DJ and mics and drum machines are putting us out of business. So
they have been for years.
Yeah, exactly. But mostly those two right now. I just got off of before this whole quarantine. The Lagoons, we played like a 5-show run in South. We played a tour last spring.
Right.
Yeah, those guys are doing really well for themselves.
Hell yeah.
So with Sunrise Police, are you required to chug at least one beer from the lead singer as he pours it into your face? Is that a requirement?
Oh my god. Man, Ryan Foley is a monster. I've just
you never
forget
that guy after you see him.
I find myself apologizing to sound guys and venues for it.
He's got to be a nightmare to work with as far as the sound guy goes. Like pouring beer all over everything.
Yeah, I mean what he does is kind of the appeal of the group, but at the same time, I'm like, I mean, it's not my group. I just I'm like, you gotta chill out a little bit because especially me like knowing all of these people, I feel like I'm the one that's like, all right, sorry he poured beer on your monitor. But I mean, he's toned it down a little bit.
It's hard to walk that line.
He'll never be able to turn it to zero.
Yeah, and he should. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of their thing. I mean, that.
Yeah, I mean,
you remember that band because of him. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's what he does, and I would never tell him not to be him. Right. I mean, the first time I saw y'all, I mean, I saw all y'all climb on your amps, and I think it was at fucking somewhere where like a ceiling tile fell down.
Lambert's,
dude. Yeah. It was that Lambert's. Yeah. It was that Lambert's.
That was with the ex Clint. Sorry, man.
I know. It's okay.
Yeah.
You guys brought me in to tone the band down. I understand. You're getting too crazy. You need to mellow out.
Actually, when Clint goes there, he builds ceilings. He goes in there and does little roofing work before
I clean up after them when they're done. I repair everything.
Yeah, I mean, y'all were for me at the time before we're one of the first bands when Natalie Fan and I started on vinyl right out of while I was still in college. Y'all were one of the first groups that we kind of covered with the magazine.
Hell yeah.
And then when we started throwing shows, we're kind of putting on all the bills. And
we appreciate
I guess,
awesome.
And then, working with y'all in many different capacities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that Lambert situation was so funny because it was like our first time, because C3 used to book Lambert's, so it was like our first time booking anything through them. We're like, okay, this is a big shot, at least in my mind, I was thinking that way, And then Derek destroys the ceiling. And we're like, dude, I don't know what's going to happen.
He destroys the ceiling and almost falls out of the second story window.
Oh, yeah. I was there.
Same show.
I was there. My girlfriend at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna watch these guys that I know play, and and then it was awesome. It was dope.
Nice. It can be hard to walk that line though between being a rock star and being like courteous professional, because you got you're trying to, in your mind, you're trying to compete with these famous rock stars of history that just did all this crazy shit and never had to deal with the repercussions of it. And like,
Yeah,
it's a different
I
time
mean,
period now. And
on
also,
the
you're not famous and a millionaire. So
right, and on the venue side of it, it's like we get a lot of like when a lot of hip hop, artists come through, and if it's sold out and it's packed crowd, and you throw your drink into the crowd or something, it's like no big deal. It's a little less tolerable from the venue side when there's 10 people in there and
yeah.
you're breaking shit
Well, it makes it
Yeah.
hard to fake it
and
till you
like
make it, though.
Yeah. Have you ever had
yeah,
to?
no, I mean I respect it. I just what was that?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was waiting for you. What was that?
Well, I guess just to kind of piggyback on that, have you ever had to ban anybody or end their show sooner? I mean, that'd be really extreme. But have you ever not invited anybody back because of how they left?
But
Scratch Out.
that's a great that I've
That's a yes then.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, since being I mean, when I started working there, man, it was just like at the time we just worked with so many young kids, and I felt like I was working at a UFC gym for a long time. Like and I'm not I'm a big dude, and so and I was always like kind of the manager, and but for some reason we always had very very small door people. So it would always kind of be me when shit hit the fan to kind of be like, oh Alex, this dude doesn't want to leave. This dude's fighting. Can you go deal with it? You're 6'5". Can you just go deal with these dudes? I'm like, and I was that like every weekend for a long time when we were working there. Kind of we changed some stuff up. I mean, it's still that way, man. Like I could definitely write a book on the fights, the drunk fights, and like the homeless issues we've had over 5 years being there. I mean, I watched someone get shot by the oak tree back there behind the venue.
Wow.
Like yeah, 2 a.m. I'm leaving on a Tuesday by myself, and these guys just start yelling like this guy shoots this guy over whatever, and that became a common occurrence for a good month and a half, 2 months there. Someone getting shot like every day on the weekend,
Jeez.
like right around. And I'm from Houston, and I've worked in Houston bars and clubs, and I came to Austin, and it was like I thought this was supposed to be a little chiller and
Right.
nicer, but yeah, it was. And APD did a really good job of kind of containing that after we asked them to. But it was, I mean, I had employees that didn't want to come to work for a while there
Wow.
because it was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, especially walking out with a pocket full of cash. I'm sure and like everyone knows that in the industry,
Yeah,
you got pockets full of money. So
yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, we search everyone that comes in to the bar. I mean, last South by Southwest. I mean, we always hire armed security and private security during South by, and South by Southwest never really thinks that we need it, like the company. And I'm always like, just wait. And we, that was last year when there was a bunch of violence everywhere. But I mean, we were wanding people and patting people down with our private security, and we probably found like 20, 25 guns before they got into the venue. It was
Wow.
Damn.
yeah,
Were those in your garage there?
yeah. Those are all in here. I took them home. No, it's
So
it's it's an awkward conversation to have with someone that has a gun, and you're like, oh, you can't come in here. Luckily, I had like
most of them have.
Unless you really want to. 'Cause
yeah.
that's,
Did you know? I don't know if it's required, but most of them have permits for it, or did it seem like they did, or
I mean, that's not. I mean, according to the law for us, it's not. It doesn't matter because we're 51% venue. So if you, I'm not a cop, so I'm not checking people. You can't bring a gun in a 51% alcohol revenue venue, regardless in Texas. So we have very clear signs about that. But I know we kind of worked with APD and with Empire and Barracuda to kind of, we did like a active shooter class with the police officers and all that preparedness class. And yeah, sucks that that's something that we have to think about now. But
Yeah, what's that class like? Is it just as terrifying as it might be, or do you? I don't know. Is it like as role play-ish as you think it is?
not really. I mean, I'm a first. I'm a first responder certified, so like the medical stuff, like was trying to be EMT. So the medical stuff on that side is easy. Just knowing what to do if someone comes into a venue is pretty. Just like shut everything down, and it's kind of scary because it's like a life or death training, and my employees kind of like were scared by it, but
Right.
I remember the good old days, the simple days when all you had to worry about was a school shooting or a shooting downtown.
yeah.
Man,
Jeez.
things are so different now.
Yikes.
So between violence permits and like double rent, do you have any other reason for someone to want to open a music venue in the city?
um, you got to give a lot of free drinks out to people. That's
Right.
yeah. You can give a lot of free alcohol away.
Sounds easy.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's great, man. It's just I just do it. We do it for the artists that play for us and that need a place to play. That have a place to kind of work out their stuff and have the opportunity for a lot of our younger artists that I can put them on bills with bigger artists, and it's not be a whole like political thing with a big talent buying agency. Not like you don't have to jump through all these hoops. Like you just play well and be nice and spend money. And we'll notice you. It's always the people that ask to play shows who've never been to the venue before, or have never seen, or never bought any drinks at the bar. Or those kind of people that are asking for shows, and I'm like, like that's the best way to get booked besides being good, is to go
Just go there.
present. Yeah, be present, meet someone at the space,
Totally.
and pay for a drink.
Yeah.
That'll get you noticed way more than like sending a SoundCloud link to somebody on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yep.
And with that too, oh man, with owning, I just had a question and I lost it. It was gone.
Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe.
Come on, Joe, you got it. Come on, dig it.
Joe.
Come on. Come on now.
Had some, you know what though, you guys have had some pretty awesome parties and amazing concerts and moments and stuff in there, and then I feel like you kind of act as a de facto like Houston bar sometimes. There's a lot of Houston representation in there, and I know y'all have had some rappers come there and have big shows and stuff like that. So that's a pretty cool thing to be. I feel like and especially for people not are away from home, and just not even from there. It's like a little taste every once in a while.
Yeah, Brody and I are both from Houston originally, and I'm a diehard Houston sports fan till the day I die.
Yeah.
Fuck all your teams. And for better or for worse, if anyone brings up the Astros right now, I'm gonna be mad.
I was about
Dude,
to.
the Astros got so lucky. Got all this scandal, and now they get to skate on by.
I thought I heard a trash can.
Everybody's gonna forget.
This year
Yeah,
count.
a trash can.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we kind of, Brody and I worked a lot in Houston, and when we were here, we worked with a lot of clubs in there, and we kind of built relationships with, like Paul Wall and like Mike Jones and all those dudes, Little Flip, and we loved hip hop. That's kind of why we got into Scratchouse. We thought it was a good spot for that, and we thought that Austin didn't have a place like I love rock music, I love live music, but if we tried to do the same thing that Barracuda was doing or Empire was doing, like we would have been out of business in the first 6 months. So we kind of found our lane, and building those relationships initially with those Houston rappers, and we were kind of the spot to come in Austin, kind of that little piece of Houston and that was like the coolest thing for me, was getting to see these artists that I loved as a child growing up in Houston, and then getting to meet them and put them on these shows.
Yeah.
That's killer, man.
And that's still my favorite part, is that we are kind of the unofficial Houston bar of Austin.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's what
It seems like the only other kind of hip hop venue I can even think of that shares a genre with a bunch of others is Flamingo Cantina. Is like the only other spot that I've ever seen
Yeah.
any kind of hip hop, like consistently.
Yeah, and their things like reggae primarily, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah,
they do get some guys in there.
They do more reggae, and we really, I mean, we started right when we started working there. I think it was 2016 ish. We started that Tuesday open mic for hip hop, and it's been going ever since. It was kind of like AMX, the Austin Mic Exchange at Spider House was kind of the first iteration, and we kind of started doing that downtown, and then it kind of AMX stopped doing that. I don't want to say that we were the cause of that, but Tuesday nights at Scratchouse for the last 4 years have been, there's always 50, 60 people there at least on Tuesdays every night. And I mean, that gave people a lot of opportunity. They kind of put us on the map initially, because people I know the Austin music scene, like the core music scene, like y'all and like me, we didn't trust that spot, because it kind of been changed since I was bitter about Holy Mountain changing.
Mm-hmm.
And so anything else after that, we got a lot of like it's so sad that, this place turned into this hip hop.
Oh, geez.
And people kind of hated on it for a while, because that wasn't their kind of music. And now, now all these artists we've been putting on, have been, which is great. I'm glad that other venues have been kind of embracing these hip hop showcases.
That's man. And even a departure. Holy Mountain was even a little departure from like Beauty Bar too, right? Before it was.
Right.
Yeah, Beauty Bar was nice.
So it's just.
I'm too young for that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a general trend, but I feel like a lot of hip hop artists have been infusing more and more real elements as far as instrumentation, and bands have been going the other way and been infusing more electronic elements. So they're kind of like getting to more of a level playing field as far as like the live experience of it, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've been crazy when I think it's like a rock show and these bands are asking for like 10 DI boxes. So it's like, my word. But yeah, I mean, the hip hop for sure. I think in Austin, to be a hip hop act, I think the consensus thinking was that you kind of had to have a band with you for people to take you seriously. And I think that's true to a point. I think it's cooler that way because I'm a drummer, because I'm biased. But I think hip hop is a lot well in Austin, more than it has been. And I'm glad that everyone's kind of been embracing it, and these artists are actually kind of, getting on these like Austin Monthly and get going on, Studio 1A sessions, and then like it's never happened before. We've never seen like hip hop artists play KUTX stuff before.
Yeah,
I think that's cool.
That's awesome, man. Very cool.
So I think we start winding down here. I'd like to know, in the spirit of homestays, being at home, maybe go around the virtual room here. I'd like for everybody to give us a recipe. Give the public a recipe, something you've made, something that you can make, or just make it up. This is the Cook It Loud. We'll call it Cook It Loud. How about that?
Ooh.
Good.
Give the people something to dine on this week. I can start. Easy.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Mentioned it before. I'm a chicken wings guy. It's easy. I prefer the flats. I understand if you like the drumsticks as well. But get a pack from the store. You can pat them off, pat them dry a little bit. throw in some olive oil, spin them around, salt and pepper them liberally, then grill them. You can do the oven too, but grill 350 degrees, get it going, put them out there. 20 minutes. Every 5 minutes, flip it over. Boom. Perfectly crisp, soft on the inside. In a saucepan, put some sauce with like a quarter, half, whole stick of butter, whatever you want, whatever you're feeling that night. Get that going. Take them off the grill, put them in the sauce, toss them around. Easy. Like 25 minutes. You've got
And I
pretty
think chicken
solid
wings.
chicken wings. Yeah.
Chicken wings are supposed to protect you from coronavirus, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
think
heard,
if you
yeah.
rub them again on your counters, it'll help as well. Yeah.
Spraying with
Yeah.
disinfectant.
Especially
for-
before
yeah,
they're
yeah.
cooked.
Awesome in that.
Yep.
I prefer the pizza route. I've got a pizza stone, and I like to go to Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has fresh dough, like pre-made dough. Get that, some fixings, your favorite toppings. I prefer spicy ground Italian sausage, a little pep, depending on the day, a little red onion, maybe green pepper, mushroom.
Oh,
And then you cook it at high heat, 525. Throw the dough on the stone for about a minute and a half. Pull it back out, then put your toppings on and throw it back in for another like 7 to 8 minutes.
It is. I can attest to that. Some of the best pizza I've ever had in my life.
Hell yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. For real.
What do you think, Alex? You got anything going? You cooking anything in that garage of yours?
Just beats.
Yes.
Oh man.
That works.
Send me a recipe for that.
Sounds spicy.
What color
I've
is
been
your
trying
pea?
to cook my pea.
The beat with the beats.
You don't. You don't want to know. It's pretty gnarly with all this Espolon I've been drinking. So.
Yeah, Espolon, nice.
Nice.
Hardy lime juice.
I guess yeah.
Stream.
Right. I guess I've been trying to cook the perfect steak, New York strip steak. It's a lot of trial and error. I try not to salt the steak before I put it in the oven, or I put it before I put it on the pan. So I put butter in the pan, sear it, minute aside, put it in the oven for 5 minutes.
yeah.
And then touch it for like 20 minutes on the counter. And then
You
salt
put it in the oven
it.
with the pan together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the cast
Iron. Yeah.
with the cast iron pan.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
So I've always had like this thought.
I don't like
actually
I don't like to salt it. Oh, sorry, you're good. Go.
Oh no, what I was going to say is that I've always had this kind of like thought because they do say when you rest the meat, you let it rest for, whatever 10 minutes, and it's better, like more tender. But then, do you reheat it? Because it's always a little cold by that time.
Yeah, I think I'd rest it in the pan still.
Mhm.
So the pan's still a little bit warm. So I cook it a little bit less than I would, and then rest in the pan so it's still warm at the end.
Good idea.
It's
But because the cast iron stays hot for a while.
it's important to rest your meat every once in a while for sure. You don't want to
You
just
gotta rest.
Yeah.
You gotta rest your
keep
meat.
going at it.
That's the idea. That's the move. And to let it rest.
I found steaks all about that butter too. Got to get just a lot of butter in there.
Yeah, I like the brown butter technique too. You kind of burn your butter, almost like get it brown. You take the chunks out, and kind of get that nutty flavor.
Hell yeah. Do you how many steaks have you gone through to get like the perfect steak now?
So many meats, to get where I am.
Nice.
So what have you been cooking up, Joe?
Well, I think what you should do is grab yourself actually some bourbon, because it's time to drink. Bourbon. You make yourself some. If you have some rosemary, take a little rosemary, and we made a little rosemary simple syrup. Squeeze some lemons, shook that all up in a shaker, poured it back into a glass. Got yourself a honey bourbon rosemary sour type thing.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That does sound awesome.
Do you want a job, Joe, of my non-existent bar right now? I'm not hiring right now.
I was gonna say, wow, you guys are back real quick. Yeah.
Keep me in mind. I'll just stand in your garage. I'll be like in house. I'll just sit in that hot garage all day.
Yeah, it's not ideal for a jam spot, but
Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
we got the kit still in action over
Damn.
here. So
And good.
Nice.
You recording any sounds in there at all, or are you just kind of playing?
yeah, I've been recording some stuff. It's not ideal, but I took all the mics and equipment home from Scratchouse, so I've been
Nice.
using those
Hey, I mean,
using those all
Nice.
home.
So if you
I
have
mean,
a drum in your
Here's our PA system right now in the corner right here. 'Cause I
That's
didn't want to
amazing.
keep it in there because we
It's probably a
boarded
good
up our
idea.
windows.
right.
We boarded up our windows and all that stuff, so I didn't want to keep that there.
Is all that plugged up too? And you're
That's smart.
playing through?
I could not get the power in my garage to power these like 3,000 watt subs.
But you
Just
tried.
go
I
through
have.
one electrical outlet.
Yeah,
like 12 power strips.
Does
yeah,
the house
I
just
tried.
blow up or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. I don't. The amp is the amp for these subs is actually like music. It's 8,000 watts together by amp, so I don't have enough power in my garage to. And they're all twist lock plugs, and I don't. My garage is not set up for a rave.
That's a bummer to hear, man.
I gotta know what the Brady Bunch poster is behind you.
Oh, it's a Wu-Tang Clan Brady Bunch poster.
Dude, I was thinking that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have the O'Doul's neon sign.
I knew that was.
they
I thought
gave
that
us.
was O'Doul's. Yeah, one of my dad's favorites.
I don't drink O'Doul's.
Dude, he used to
but
drink that and beat the shit out of me. Really made me wonder. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, there's gotta be something. There's gotta be something in there.
Yeah.
Fucking fine.
Can't believe they have signs. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to they tried to put their product in Scratchouse, and I think we tried to sell it, and we had 1 6-pack for like 3 months, and it didn't sell. So Austin isn't all about the non-alcoholic beverages.
It is. Doesn't somebody just
You
get
don't
Topo
say.
Chico or something? I mean,
Topo.
they don't want.
That's
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Topo
Topo Chico and
rules.
Tito's.
and people sell Topo for like $5.
It's very expensive. I didn't drink for like 1 week to just see if I could, and I went to the bar, and everybody's getting like, it was like, oh, let's get a Topo Chico, and yeah, it's like $5. I was like, I'll have 3 shots, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Red Bull's even more expensive. Is like I had employees that kind of take the Red Bulls for when working. I'm like, I'd rather you take a shot. It's cheaper for me than taking these fucking Red Bulls. Jesus Christ, it's like they're like $2 a can for me.
Yeah.
And then I love a good Red Bull though.
Yeah.
No doubt.
As you can see by my hairstyle.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Clint, we didn't-
Do we get did Brian and Clint? Did you give us some tasties?
I could go. I've been cooking a mean curry stir fry kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Mix some curry paste with a can of coconut milk. Kind of get that simmering and mix it together. And then you're gonna want to pan sear some chicken and some vegetables. You pretty much cut up any vegetables, and it's gonna taste just delightful. And you want to get it nice and crispy.
What's your spice level?
Want to add the what's that?
What's your spice level on the curry?
It's about a level 3.
Ooh.
3 of 10 or 5?
Ooh.
Yep.
Yep.
Clint, why don't you
Sneeze
go
a little
ahead now?
pepper into it.
We honestly we've been ordering out probably more than we should, but we also been doing a lot of grilling, just boring stuff like burgers, chicken, shish kebabs. But actually bought a lot of stuff today for some good crock potting, which I always recommend. Which is pretty easy, just find some stuff you like and just throw it in that bad boy and leave it sit for 5 hours. But you don't gotta do anything, and then it's just delicious.
Crock potting.
Dude, love the crock pot. Sarah brought in this dish once we started seeing each other. It's called salsa beef. All it is
Guess. Take a guess.
Just a chuck roast
Yeah.
and a can of your favorite salsa. That is it, dude.
And that's it. It was probably delicious, right?
Dude,
I
it's
was
fucking
thinking
Super
I was,
easy.
I was thinking salmon, but
so easy.
Nice.
Yeah. Keeping it simple.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on. Maybe we should do, actually, just thought of this. Last week we did that thing with the Chugs where we did take a movie title and replace one word with chug to make it better. Maybe we can do that this week. Everybody think of a movie and replace one word with duck.
With duck.
oh shit.
For example, Duck Alone 2, Lost in New York. That's right, I'm using the same one from last week. Die Hard with a duck.
How about the Ducky Ducks?
There you go.
That's good.
Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ducks.
They're not ninjas, though, are they?
No.
There's teenager ducks.
They're mutant and they're just ducks. That's it.
The Sisterhood of the Traveling Ducks.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Duck
leader in the clubhouse.
Judgment Day.
What was
Duckinator 2 Judgment Day.
Duckinator 2.
Duckinator.
or the Revenge of the Duck.
Revenge of the Duck, yeah.
The Duck Strikes Back, yeah. All that. I mean, the Star Wars, it goes without saying.
The Temple of Duck. Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Duck.
There you go. Avengers Infinity Duck.
There you go.
Howard Duck.
Yes.
Duck.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, write them in the comments below.
Yeah, how many duck jokes do you think
Hey, what?
Yeah, how many duck jokes do you think I've gotten in my lifetime?
Ooh, what's that? Are there any good ones?
Man, not really. They're all not.
Or is there a most common? Is there like a Mount Rushmore?
No, a funny one. I used to play baseball, and people would kind of shout from the stands because it was on my jersey.
Oh man,
it was like, do you smoke quack? Because you're a duck.
Oh my god! Wow,
that was a good one. That was
pretty
that
solid
was
for a kid.
that was my favorite one that I've heard. I think.
What's a duck's favorite snack?
Oh god.
Quackers.
Quack. Do you know ducks have corkscrew penises? Have you ever
that is
you seen those
Fucked
videos?
up, but you should tell
You
us.
say yes,
felt like
you're more
felt like a
fucked up.
lead up to,
Yeah.
to a joke.
I mean, it's not. I wish it was a joke. I wish I was setting up a joke.
That's true.
Is there something you want to tell us, Alex?
You know, I can't show it on Zoom, or I probably lose my business even more than I am.
Can you just hang
now.
a Coke can on it or something like that?
It'd be a lot more rock star if you could.
Just bring a bottle of wine over there.
Yeah.
No, I can hang your pictures on the wall though.
Yeah.
Alex, is there a way that people can is that GoFundMe still up? People support Scratchouse that way?
Yeah, it should be on the Scratchouse Facebook page and the Instagram in the bio. I can give y'all the link to post on.
Yeah,
on this
we'll
post.
share the link for sure.
I don't know off the top of my head. It's still up.
Good.
But most of that is going towards our employees and our like our taxes, our liquor taxes and stuff like that. But we paid out our first round. We paid out our employees, and then now it's kind of going towards all that. So that would mean a lot. And hopefully we're back up and running. And if we are, I hope Fair City Fire is one of the first people to come back and bless that stage.
Yeah, hell yeah,
buddy.
I like sound.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
For a certain price, obviously. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
For at least 2 Lone Stars apiece. At least.
Yeah. How's 1.5 drink tickets?
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Cool.
Me in the middle.
Appreciate it, Alex. Yeah, so Scratchouse on Facebook. Check out the GoFundMe. Alex, I don't know if you want people to you're on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff too. So I know you promote some stuff on there. Or if you want to be friends with a stranger on the internet, look up Alex Duck. It's an easy name to find.
Send him a good duck joke. He's never heard him before.
He loves duck jokes.
Yeah, very, very easy to find.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me.
Dude, this is fun. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
Everybody, be well. All right.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Later,
Be
guys.
safe.
Later.
Be safe.
Peace.